We're going to keep the headers exactly as they are. These divs with the thumbnail image, actually before we do that, inside of the thumbnail is where we are going to set our first PHP tag. And if you may recall, when we did PHP down below, we set up the loop. So we're going to set up the loop. In fact, we're going to use a lot of the same terminology. So you can actually go in and paste, you can copy and paste your code. Now I think what I'll do is on the first one I'll have my comments. And then on remaining ones I will, oops, did it the wrong way. I need to put it inside of my PHP tag. Okay, so inside here we want to create all of our code. So we're going to set up a query like we did before. My query equals new. Now here's the deal. What we're going to do is we're going to set the category name. Guess what it's called? It's called category name. It's amazing how they come up with these titles here. And on here we want to do, what was our header? WordPress development. So, oh, the other thing you should know is in order to get a category name, what we need to do is we need to look at our web page, and we should be logged in for this. Okay, I want to direct your attention to posts. When you go into the dashboard of your website and you go to post, look at categories. I want to point out on the right hand side, on the left hand side we have the names of the categories as we see it on the page. However, there's a thing called a slug, and a slug is a web link friendly, a URL friendly version of the name. So what we need to do is we need to grab the slug, and we're going to use the category name as it is in the slug itself. So category name equals, and you see how I copied that? I pasted in, and we need the ampersand, the and sign. So now I'm going to say category name equals WordPress development and post per page equals, and now we're going to change that to 1 because we only want 1 post per page. Everything else on here is the same. Now, whenever you start the loop using the loop, you want to make sure you end the loop. And since we stuck it inside the div, we'll end the loop inside the div. And we're going to do that with the PHP tag. And it's end while. And I think it's just a semicolon. Let me double check how we did it down here. End while, semicolon. Okay, so that's what we do. End while, semicolon, question mark, like so. Okay, so that sets up our query. We have our header 3. Thumbnail image. Now, we only want to show this div if there is a thumbnail, and we're going to figure that out using PHP. So, what we want to do is we want to first check to make sure that it has a thumbnail. And if it does, then we're going to throw this div in here, and inside of it, automate grabbing the image. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but we'll just do it this way. Okay. There's our PHP tag, and we write if. And we have to do, you always do parentheses inside of an if statement. And so this is what the if block looks like. So on here, we're going to put if has post thumbnail. Spell that correctly. If you don't, you will have trouble. So if has post thumbnail, like so, and this is called a method, and what it's going to do is it's going to tell us if it has a post thumbnail, and if it does, then what we put inside of here is what we want it to do. However, we're only going to put this div inside. So what we're going to do is, watch what I do. Well, let me show you. One of the things I like to do is set up my PHP tags like so. Okay. So anything that's a PHP code needs to be wrapped inside a PHP tag. See how that works? Okay, so if we do, then we're just going to drag that div up. See how that looks? So if we have a thumbnail, then we'll drop this div in here. If we don't want to. Okay? And then inside, we'll tab it over, and now we're going to put a new PHP tag using the loop to get the thumbnail. And we've done that before, and it's the underscore post thumbnail. And inside, we're going to give it the size of thumbnail. Now, if you were going to do, for example, earlier when we talked about whether you're going to have 2 or 3 evenly spaced columns, if you wanted to do 2, you might want to set it the size of medium, not thumbnail. Okay, and this is just going to inject the image right inside of there. Okay, so that's not too bad. Inside of our paragraph, we said the excerpt goes here. So now we create a PHP tag, and we're going to put the excerpt. The excerpt. Now I believe in the excerpt, one of the things you can do, I think, and we're going to test this out in a moment, I think you can give it a value as to how many, and this is what actually would tell you how many words you're going to include, and we're going to test that out in a moment. But we first want to test out the excerpt, make sure it's working right. And then in our button class, we need to get a link to that site. So on here, we're going to put some kind of a call to action, like learn WordPress development. Okay, nice call to action. Tell the user to do something. Give it a class, and we need to give it an src. And the link here is going to be done using PHP, like we did before. And on here, we're going to do a link to the category. So on here, it's a special WordPress loop function called getCategory_link, so that we can get the link to the category. Pretty straightforward, wouldn't you say? And the last thing is, let's go ahead and let's just call it good on here. Let's just see how well this first one works. Save your changes, go to your site, upload index, go to the WordPress site, go to the home page, and we missed a semicolon on line 22. The nice thing is it tells you exactly what line if has post thumbnail. Apparently it doesn't want a semicolon there. Let's see if that works any better. Save our changes. It might not like the others, but we're going to find out in just a moment. Upload it. Refresh. There we go. Aha! Site highlights. What happened here? WordPress development. There's the link, the image, thumbnail. And then we have another paragraph going on here. I think we forgot to close our header 3. And sure enough, we did. Save it. Upload it. Hey, we all make mistakes, right? Now we have our excerpt. Learn WordPress development. How's that for a nice call to action? Looks much more bootstrappy than the other version I had. All right, let's see if we can limit the size of the excerpt. And so I'm just going to guess at this one. And we're going to give it might need to be a string. Let's just put 100. Let's just see if this works. Probably won't, but it's worth a try. And if it doesn't work, we'll go to the WordPress codex. Did I get that uploaded? Was it saved? Well, it didn't crash. Maybe it just doesn't understand it. Okay, so I did a little search to find out about excerpts and controlling the excerpt's length. And on here, I believe this is the right one. One of the problems is we need to create what's called a filter, and that's an entirely other tutorial. So we're going to skip that for now. But that would be a great tutorial to go over on another day. So at this point, here's the code that you want for the entire thumbnail using the PHP tags as we go. Now you're going to want to, of course, do that for the rest. Let's go ahead and fix the excerpt length, okay, since that doesn't work. Save your changes. And then you're just going to want to set up each of these PHP tags in the remaining ones. I'm going to let you do that on your own. Good luck with that. That sounded kind of rude. So have a great luck doing that. There we go.